From the real estate, interior design, and design and build experts at the Penzo Group comes a podcast that covers all things home. For our team, a home is so much more than the sum of its four walls. It goes beyond. A home is our sanctuary, a place to create memories, build routines, and shape our futures. Through a series of captivating conversations with guests who are industry experts in their fields, we discuss their lives, passions, and their most personal and intimate spaces, their homes. Welcome to Beyond Four Walls, where we explore the soul of living spaces and celebrate the essence of what makes a house a true home. Welcome to another episode of Beyond Four Walls with the Penzo Group. Today, I'm so excited to be sitting down with my mom, Debbie. She has had an amazing career, most recently being the leader at the Penzo team. And I want to just dive in and first ask how you got to where you are today. Like, I know you started out in fashion.
Oh, it's a long road,
Yeah.
really, because I'm a senior.
You look
but
great.
not at heart.
Yeah.
Not at heart. So when I graduated from Ryerson, which was Toronto Metropolitan University now,
Yeah.
I had a business degree, and I went to work in fashion at Simpson's, which then became the Bay. And I loved fashion and color.
You were in buying.
I was a buyer. I started in the management training program. So I was always customer facing and client satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went into the buying office. I met my husband, who's your dad, John, who was a real estate developer and builder of homes. And because my industry was so much traveling, he said, why don't you get your real estate license? We're having children and you've got to be at home.
Where were you traveling most?
All over.
Everywhere?
All over. New York, China for silks, Italy for knits.
Yeah, that's a lot when you're having children.
2 weeks away is a lot. Less than that is doable.
Yeah.
So I did get my real estate license when I was pregnant with you. With my belly.
Was it faster to get then than it is today? 'Cause
it was way faster.
Yeah.
It was so easy then to get your license.
Yeah.
Easy, not as easy as in Florida, but easy.
Yeah.
So I started working in the subdivision, selling new homes, and I enjoyed that. And then after 10 years, I took a hiatus.
And was there days where there was like lineups out the door?
Lineups. There was a boom at one time when there was a lineup.
And you weren't doing it like digitally.
Taker.
You were literally
writing orders.
Yeah.
Writing orders. Bayview and 7, writing orders. Then driving to Mississauga to take the backup. And your dad would finish work. I had your grandmother at home helping with kids. And then after that, I thought, you know what? There's more to this, right? There's more to this. I loved it so much. So I started doing real estate in the city, resales. And with resales, there's more variety. There's more variety in selling because you're going in and out of different houses. When you sell from plans, it's when you get to the design park and picking the finishes that it's relatable to fashion.
Right.
So
there's so much more variety of product with resale, and you are because you started out in fashion, you absolutely love interiors as well. Like when we were growing up, we moved like almost every 2 years, I remember.
Because it was exciting to do a project.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even because we needed to move. It was like, okay, new materials coming out. Let's do another house.
Yeah.
This is so exciting because it was different from subdivision.
Right.
So in resale, you get that approach where you see different finishes. And the other great thing about resales, when the house isn't the way someone wants it, that's where I call in your
Urban Blueprint, Design and Build.
Yeah. And HomeKin to come in and say, what's it going to cost for this client to renovate their house? And Luca gets involved and you get involved. And I think it's my passion for guiding people, because buying fashion, you were looking at what did your client need. It's when you become customer facing and very passionate about helping the consumer, even finding them a house becomes like I feel like I become their trusted advisor.
Well, yeah. And you've been doing it for plus 40 years?
40.
40?
So I won't give your age away. You just gave your age away.
Whoopsies.
I got my license when I was pregnant with you and doing it for 40 years.
And you have clients that, I mean,
repeat.
Yeah.
And that's the love of the business, is the passion for helping the people find their perfect home, keeping in touch with them, watching their families grow up, going back and saying, are you ready for the next step? And, I'm going to say that when I start with a client, I really find that I feel like I want to make sure they know that I would advise them the way I would if it was a young client like you, the way I would give you advice.
You treat them like family.
I treat them like family. Well, family is one of our core values.
Absolutely.
It has been since in every facet of our business. It's been all about family.
I think that's what really, being on the team, but I think that is what sets us apart and is our competitive advantage, is we are a family business and we span different demographics and ages, and we're a growing team. So we're able to really service.
Well, who's going to have your back is your family, right? Like, as business partners, you are totally invested in succeeding.
Yeah. And speaking of that, I want to go, I know, you just have been such a champion for this. You went through a pretty big life change, and that's, part of the impetus for like why our team has developed as well. In 2016, you were diagnosed with breast cancer.
Yeah. And I want to say, I was diagnosed with breast cancer and went through and quite an advanced stage. I didn't know what my legacy would be at the time. And, I decided through chemo treatment, you're thinking a lot. And I decided,
you completely went off social media.
I focused on healing. That, and I was inpatient a couple of times with complications. And
I remember that Christmas you were in the hospital and you just said, like, I am just going to really focus so deeply on healing myself. And I think that was such also like a spiritual journey for you, which you've just come out of it so much
stronger. So I think that trauma or that experience in my life, and I'm a survivor, is pivotal to how I turned around my goals for the rest of my life.
Right.
And I was 60 when I was diagnosed. So that was 7 years ago. And I think that when you have time, a pivot or in your life through a trauma, it makes you so much stronger when you decide what your goals will be. So my goals were work with my family, help them all be better at business as people, give back to my community.
Which you've done with, you were the keynote speaker at Run for the Cure a few years ago. You've been very involved in different initiatives and causes supporting breast cancer research and awareness. And I know that you also have a group of even young women that have come to you when they've been diagnosed with breast cancer at a younger age and have leaned on you for support. And
I think that helping people, being philanthropic to help people forward in whether it's a Princess Margaret Cancer Fund or Sunnybrook's breast cancer golf tournament, Rethink Breast Cancer for young people. When you give back, it gives you more strength to help people in all areas of their life. I think it just
We'll be walking the 21K again this
We'll be
year.
doing the 21K for the Princess Margaret.
We did it last year. It was an amazing
The Walk to
event.
Conquer Cancer. We do the
IBC Run for the Cure.
Yeah, and that's targeted for Canadian Cancer Society towards breast cancer.
And we're also involved in Rethink Breast Cancer.
And Rethink Breast, yes, which is for under 40. But it makes, you have to show your authenticity in life, in business as well. Because we're selling people, their biggest investment in their life is their home. So if you can't be honest and open and authentic with people in general, how are they going to trust you?
Well, exactly.
And I spending their money.
People are vulnerable with us too, right? When you're, working with people on investing in their biggest asset, you have to have really open and honest conversations. And I think, having that trust and that authenticity and knowing that you're dealing with
experts, that's it. And I feel like I'm a real, like, being in the business 40 years and going through a transition that I've been through myself, building our own houses, your dad being a builder developer, buying multiplexes in the city that we can bring to better use and have people rent. There's expertise in all areas. And we have a passion too. I have to say, like, when you're a passionate person deep down in everything that you do, you draw people to you. And
well, I see you always put your best foot forward. Like, as a daughter, you always taught Luke and I that growing up. We always saw you. I mean, you did stay at home for a period of time and you were always present where it counted, but you always bring your best foot forward and you're so deeply passionate and detail oriented. Like you...
I'm detail oriented to a fault.
Yes.
And we all have our strengths and weaknesses, right? And I think with our team, and I don't want to, what makes it work like a machine is that we are also uniquely different. We all have very strengths that are very good for this industry, but we all have the strengths each individually that combine to make the car or the wheel rotate and work the best. And we're going to grow.
Absolutely.
Our team's going to grow.
I just wanted to highlight where you live, because you live in the Summerhill area. We all do.
We're in my house.
Yeah, we're in your house. But you did transition from living not north, but like near York Mills and Bayview. Yeah. That's where we grew up. And then, after Luke and I were out of the house, you moved from Lawrence Park down to... You've moved a few times, but you moved more to the core of the city.
And I think that gives a lot of experience, right? Is that
because there are, there are a lot of people that are transitioning as life changes, becoming empty nesters that want to have a more urban lifestyle once their children have grown up.
And I think we did that, but we also followed you and Luca. So going way back, like your dad grew up in Italy on the Riviera with a father. Your grandfather built condo buildings, and he built buildings with walnut doors and marble floors, and they always lived in a condo in Italy. They moved to Canada to start a new business and lived in the suburbs. Started in Scarborough and West Hill because they didn't know where to go.
Right.
And then to Etobicoke. So when I met your dad, and I was a buyer, he lived in Etobicoke. And I said, oh, no. We have to move closer to where we're going to send our daughter to school. So we went to Bayview and York Mills and started building custom houses. And then as time went, it was like, why do we live across the bridge? I said, what bridge? The bridge on Bayview. Yeah. No one lives across north of the bridge, Mom. That's the other thing selling houses. When you have experience, to ask a client, where do your children go to school? You can identify with different socioeconomic backgrounds.
Absolutely.
When you have more experience in different types of housing and different types of schools. And then you and Luca moved out of the house, went to university. We had the condo purchase in our own family, Scrivener Square. And we came down to Summerhill because we wanted to be more. I love it here.
Dad walks everywhere.
More urban.
Yeah.
It's urban, but urban with being quiet. Summerhill, Yonge Street's dead in Summerhill after 9:00.
That's true.
It's not downtown Toronto.
But if you do want some nightlife, you can go down to Yorkville pretty quick.
Yeah. You walk to Yorkville in 20 minutes. You can walk everywhere. And we love it here. Love it. Live, and our office, we're at Chestnut Park, which is at Woodlawn and Yonge. Yeah. And we can walk to our office, collaborate with all the other agents there.
Yeah, it's lovely.
A great neighborhood. It's such a community.
I love,
what do you think about it living down here?
I love Summerhill. I love the walkability. I like so many of my friends and network also are small business owners in the area. So I love the community aspect. Love popping down to G Beauty. And And then, nut bars down the street. So many great people in my network
And
have
they've become your
opened
friends,
and
a
become
lot
my
of
friends.
them.
And also my office, Urban Blueprints office, which Luke and I frequent every day, is in Leslieville, which is also a great neighborhood.
And Luke lives in Riverdale.
And he lives in Riverdale. So
which is close.
Yeah, it's just really about community. And
so you're bringing your children up different from we had space. Like we brought you up with a bigger backyard and I realized, what do we need this grass for? The kids
I sort of feel like also, we will move eventually. We have 3 children, but the more space you have, sometimes I think the more
you collect.
And the more you
clutter.
Yeah.
The more you clutter.
Summerhill is, it's dense. It is dense, although it's quiet.
It is. And there's more and more condos being built on Main Street, which is another facet.
So excited about. You just checked out the North Drive.
We went to North Drive at Roxborough and Young. Beautiful. Ultra luxury. But yesterday I was showing at Scrivener Square.
That's selling for how much a square foot?
$2,600 a square foot. So 2,200 square feet is 4.7 to start. But then you can go to Scrivener Square and buy something unrenovated but livable for $1,350 a square foot. And then maybe put some money into it or not. And you're 2 blocks away from that other condo. So you're in a very vibrant community with all price levels and such a community feel. I love living here.
Like, especially for guiding younger people these days where they sometimes feel like home ownership or potentially even renting can feel a little bit out of reach. I think people just need to know that you're not buying forever. Like, you have to change your perspective. It's not necessarily going to be your forever home right away.
You know what I say? Just get in the market.
Just get in.
Yeah, and start with something like we did with you. Start with a condo. Just figure out what you can afford. Start with a condo. And I like to guide. That's why I like to take people under my arm and say, I'm going to just be your advisor. I'm going to partner in your success and help you achieve your dreams. And then they move forward. And with our demographic, it's so we have a lot of fun.
Yeah,
don't we?
Much fun.
Like, we just have a lot of fun guiding our clients, and
we also love managing like the portfolio of multiplexes, which we also treat our tenants
that's your dad's
options
business.
For rental.
Yeah,
is we really treat that side of the business as like tenants treating it like it's really their home, and like when we renovate them, we put in more unique finishes. Like, we don't just
cookie cutter
it.
Well, your dad loves being a landlord, and he gets so many compliments from his tenants. What a great landlord he is. Like I'm saying, who are you talking to at 10 o'clock? Oh, my tenant. Which one? And never mind. Her hot water's off. I'm sending somebody right away.
Yeah.
And he cares about them all.
Yeah.
He cares. And that's what part of being in a family business and serving clients, being customer facing, is all about service and making people feel special. And we do really care. How do you like being in the business?
I love it. I am so passionate about what I do. I feel every day I am just grateful to get up and be so excited about what's going to unfold.
Aww.
Yeah, I really sometimes have to pinch myself and say I am so blessed and grateful to be doing what I'm doing.
That's awesome.
There's nothing better than guiding people home, making their homes uniquely theirs. And I love our customers.
That makes me feel so warm inside, because I brought you and Luca up when you were growing up and being educated, is not to think about what career is going to give me the most money, or not to think about the dollar. What you have to do is think about how happy you are when you're in your career. Like, if you have a jump in your step when you go out the door and you're passionate about what you do, you'll earn money. And then the more you're in it, success will come. Because passion and being happy, it shows. Yeah. And that's what drives businesses to succeed.
Yeah, and we definitely learned that from you and Dad, and just striving to be better every day. Just never settling.
So travel inspires me.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
You can always
you're gonna
convince you
ask
to
me.
go on a trip.
Yeah. So
where are you going this summer, Debbie?
Okay. So go traveling, architecture.
Yeah.
Walking through cities.
Yeah.
Inspires me to know, and like I can't wait to get home and get back to work.
I know you can't seem to always go back to Italy.
Well, Italy I go because the food is
Italian?
good. It's because Dad's Italian and the food is good. I love going to New York.
Yes.
I love the vibe. I love walking on the Upper East Side. I love walking in Soho. I love seeing the different types of condos that are being built and the finishes inside. Love going to Miami to restaurants. Like every city, California is so different. Like if we talk about North America, then if you go to Europe, I mean, we did London 2 years ago. We go to Paris and all through the cities in Italy. It's walking and getting experiences through the years, even like pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, how people feel about life. Because all that living in other cultures helps you with your authenticity, with your passion, learn more about how people live and how people live.
And get inspired for your own business.
And your inspiration.
And take, inspiration from other cities, how they do things.
Like,
Sylvia Benchmol, who we met with and interviewed from Stone Tile this morning. She's the founder of Stone Tile. She was talking about
I remember her.
Yeah.
When we did our first houses, we met her and her sister.
Yeah. So that business is now 30 years old.
I know. How awesome.
How awesome. Doing so well. Her son's the president. And she was talking about going to Salone in Milan this April and how she's always just blown away.
Is she going?
Yeah.
Oh, we wanted to go this year.
Yeah, I know. It's this April.
Exactly. It's in a month. Oh, we have to get to that.
Yeah.
Salone is so inspiring.
Yeah. Speaking of houses, and we always end off with asking our guests a few personal questions about the home. What's your favorite room of the house?
Oh, the kitchen and the family room.
Yeah.
It's combined.
Yeah.
Where we eat and where we watch TV and hang out with the family is my favorite room of the house.
Yeah. You bought your oven before anything else.
And my oven I bought.
Your La
it was the first
Cornue,
thing I picked was my La Cornue oven. And I labored.
Though you don't really cook.
No, because your dad
cooks. And then you call him from the car and you're like, sweetie, is dinner ready? And he's like, it's another 15 minutes. So he's like, oh, I'm just finishing up and walk in the door right
and
before
then I drive around the
ready.
block 2 times to get away from doing anything. Yeah. But I clean up.
Yeah, you do love to
clean up. I'm really.
You can't come over without starting to clean my house.
I'm type A with neatness. I'm very organized. I'm super organized. My hangers all face the same way. My clothes are color lined, color coordinated in the closet.
Love when you come over.
But I work like that too.
Rearrange my whole house in a few hours.
Exactly. Yeah. But I work like that.
I know.
Very organized. I have operations, sales, marketing all divided.
Yeah.
And it's all the planning's done.
You run a tight ship.
Very tight ship. And I'm tough love too.
Yeah. Okay. We discussed favorite room of the house. I want to also ask what home means to you.
Home is my comfort. Home is my warmth.
Yeah.
It's love. It's all, my home's all about love. It's about family. It's where we gather. And it's a very, very special, intimate place, my home. Like whenever I was hospitalized, it was like, when can I go home? And then feeling safe.
Yeah.
Feeling safe. It's my sanctuary.
Love that.
What does home feel to you?
Yeah, home's like my safe space. Like if I usually don't have, some days are stressful, but if I'm having...
You're lying if you have no stressful days.
But when I come home at the end of the day and walk through the door, and I think I've said this before, it's just it just feels like a breath of just a
ease.
Sigh of ease. Yeah.
Well, your kids make you smile and laugh.
And it is cozy and it's comfortable and it's warm and all the things you said.
Do you think that the extension of having a family business, like your home is your family and you have your own family, you work with your brother, you work with your mom and your husband.
Yes.
And your dad's a mentor, but do you find that comforting or how do you feel about it?
I absolutely love it. I don't think anyone has your back more than your family. And I think you can be so, sometimes maybe to a fault, honest and authentic because you can.
I agree. But how good is that?
But it is so good. And you just know that they're always going to have your back and will always be there for you. So I think the level of trust is really what ultimately makes family businesses thrive.
And that's very comforting to me because I feel I did a good job. And
Wonderful.
I loved this session of Beyond Four Walls.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we got to do this together.
It's great.
Awesome.
Love you.
Love you.